This song has been making the rounds and making the media, taking it by storm for the past 10 days. And I'll be honest, your boy hasn't even heard it yet, but it's being called all sorts of crazy things. A conservative dog whistle. People are saying this guy's an industry plant, but it's also being touted as just one of the greatest songs of all time. And I don't know, is that true as well? Is there really a justified media circus around this from a political level? Or is it just a really good song? Well, we're about to find out. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and yeah, I've managed to avoid Richmond, north of Richmond this long, but I think it's about time we give it a fair shake. Let's get into it.
Well, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I...
Alright, so obviously, I'm going to let you guys know full front, I'm not much of a country guy. Your boy can play guitar, I'm a musician, in fact, I can play all the key instruments in a band. I'm not much of a country guy, but I do hear, once again, this is an incredible song. His opening lyrics are pretty standard things we've heard in country music, or even a lot of music, so, just in and out the day. It's like, hey, I've been working real hard at a job that doesn't pay very well. I do kind of like his aesthetic, and he's not using a super nice mic, so, I mean, yeah, this dude is definitely DIY. Like if this is the mic I think it is, it's a certain mic that I used to use as well. It's a pretty middle-of-the-road mic, so I like his DIY setup. He's definitely not a super well-off or industry-driven individual.
I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to.
All right, that was good. That what the world's gotten to. What he did with his voice there, the way that was very well executed.
For people like me, people like you, wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
Alright, so Richmond, north of Richmond, they want to have total control. Obviously, he's just singing about people of power in general, which is it's an easy sentiment to get behind. At that point, I'm not sure why this is being called political, because that's something that the left and the right, people should agree on that in general. If you're the lower income or even just regular middle class, yeah, we see people at the top, the upper echelon, all the time, taking what isn't theirs and not exactly doing the greatest for the regular working class individual. Like, that's not a left or right thing. That's a, remove all partisanship from that. That's just a sentiment that rich people get their way and can buy their way out of anything or can buy their way into anything. Whereas the regular folk, they got to get lucky or work really, really hard. Or even then, neither one is anything's confirmed. So, yeah, I'm digging the message.
Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, 'cause the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors, not just minors on an island somewhere.
I mean, yeah, once again, I don't see how that's a political message, while all politicians worry about, human trafficking and things like that. Once again, I'm digging the vibe. I'm not necessarily big on the song itself so far, but it's still got about a minute and a half, a little bit more than that to change my mind. But that's a good message. Politicians are not worrying about minors on an island somewhere. I assume that's a reference to Epstein Island, which, by the way, homeboy, he didn't kill himself. But yeah, I wish that we would have an Epstein client list, and that's just a good song lyric.
Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the whole beast milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down.
Yeah, talking about how there are people out there that absolutely do need welfare. I think welfare is a fantastic thing. Your boy has been on welfare before. I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. You have to use it. But there are people out there that abuse that system. And then when you get in food stamps and you're using it just to buy crap and junk food and living on a recliner at 300 pounds, yeah, there are individuals that do that sort of thing. There's also individuals that use welfare because they need it. They're having a rough spot in life and they get past it and they move on like I did. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very good lyric. I think this is pretty pretty basic stuff. I mean, everyone's talking about how this song is revolutionary. Nah, this is the sort of stuff that we used to hear about all the time, and then things changed in a post 2014 world. I'm not hearing anything like. Maybe it's refreshing. I'll give it that hearing this sort of stuff again is refreshing, but I wouldn't say it's new.
Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. For people like me, people like you, wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day.
Well, that is an adorable pupper right there.
Overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Okay, he's got 4 seconds left. Let's see if there's... Give him the watch time. Alrighty, and that was Richmond, north of Richmond, and I'll be honest, I don't see a lot of appeal in terms of the song itself, like musically. It's a relatively simple song, and the sort of thing that you would hear, I don't know, on like maybe not on the radio nowadays, because we don't let songs with real instruments on the radio nowadays, but it's just verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Not a particularly complex song. There's no bridge. He doesn't do any sort of like crazy solos or anything that people would expect out of some sort of individual. That's if you're just gonna be sitting there playing a guitar, a lot of times you want what I would think the individuals would want is something exceptional about it. And don't get me wrong, it's not a big deal if you don't do that. I'm saying I'm curious why everyone's eating this song up the way they are. If it's just sort of your regular. Any guy who can, be passed an acoustic guitar at a party and play Wonderwall sort of thing. It's not a particularly complex song. It's actually kind of unorthodox in that there is no bridge or verse bridge or verse chorus, bridge, final chorus. He treats the second chorus like a final chorus, and then he repeats the first part of the first verse. The lyrics are great lyrics. They're really good, powerful lyrics. I don't necessarily think that that's, again, out of the ordinary. I mean, we've heard political music for decades until recently, and all of a sudden political stuff was off the walls. Oh no, we can't talk about that. Like Rage Against the Machine made their career doing political music. Now granted, it was for the other side of the aisle politically, but at the end of the day, I mean, that stuff was still selling. It's not like political music was never commercial. Green Day, that entire American Idiot album, is an incredibly political album. It's a full on about George Bush and the war in Iraq. Why is this being treated as something super amazing? It is a well-written song lyrically. Like I think that's where the appeal is. The appeal to the song is definitely in the lyricism. He wrote some very, I don't know if catchy is the right word, but ear-catching words, and he rhymes them in a very, good way. It's going to be very easy. You listen to the song 3-4 times, you're going to be able to pick up on it, sing all the words. The chorus actually is a bit catchy, I'll give it that. The chorus is a bit catchy. Is this really where we're at? I guess is what it boils down to. Are we at this point where something like this is considered so not only divisive but refreshing? Like, I don't know. I've known a lot of dudes who we would go to parties and break out an acoustic guitar after 2 or 3 beers, and they would break into stuff like this. Like, this isn't anything spectacular. This is a very normal thing, and yet it's got 23 million views. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm happy for the dude. Awesome. Like. Get that bread. Congratulations. I'm glad that he made a piece of art that is resonating with the public consciousness. But why is it resonating? We shouldn't be starved for this sort of thing unless stuff has truly gotten that bad. And sure, it's easy to say, especially when you make videos like me and, you know, the sort of stuff I typically tend to cover. Yeah, things have gotten that bad. But don't treat it like this is something new. I don't know. I'm having a real rough time wrapping my head around this one. It's a good song. Like, that's really all it is. It's a good song with some good lyrics that is a bit unorthodox, and if anything, just major props to himself. Oliver Anthony, I believe was his name. Like, that's, you know, to be able to create any sort of art out there and put it out there is it's difficult to do. Clearly, he's got talent as a musician. The guitar part was... The chord progression was not a difficult progression. However, the way he was hitting those individual strings, doing that very consistently, like, dude definitely skilled on the guitar. I would like to see more of his guitar playing. For a country song, definitely not. It's not something I'm going to just put on my playlist because, like I said at the beginning, I'm not a country fan. But it's also got a bit of a folk singer-like sort of thing to it, which I do enjoy. I do like folk music, and so someone could pop this on, and I would vibe with it if the mood was right. You know, this isn't a top-down in the summer sort of drive, but I could definitely vibe with it if the mood was right, and... I don't know. Definitely happy for the guy. I think it definitely deserves all the views it's getting because as an independent artist, man, if you can break out there and you have a message you want to get across, something that's, you know, you're passionate about, whether it be your music, the things coming out of your lyrics, the words in your music, then I absolutely I applaud that full and foremost. But people that are making this a political issue and talking about how it's the greatest song ever purely from a political aspect, I think we should be wary of individuals doing that. That just seems like trying to sow more division, whether it be on the left or the right. Now, I can't say that I'm a fan of that, but those are just my opinions. I'm glad I heard the song, but I want to know your guys' opinions. I'm sure I upset a few of you guys with my kind of lackluster response to this song, but didn't live up to the hype. Good song, didn't live up to the hype. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on Twitter, now X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news, and usually I do it twice a day. Today, I guess this wasn't particularly nerdy, but it was culturally relevant, and I think that is incredibly important. My video later on in the day, that'll be a bit nerdy. It's going to be about Jack and Daxter possibly getting a live-action film, which seems so hard to believe. But go ahead and check that out. It comes out, these videos drop at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, of course, check out Saturday Night Hypnosis every Saturday night. It's the 1-year anniversary today, baby. You're going to enjoy it. And until then, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise.